Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. How is everybody doing today? So, we have Autumn of Agony fight. It's funny because it's 18th of December, but it's Autumn of Agony. I guess that's why it's such an agony, because it lasts in the winter time. Either way, after a week off from Autumn of Agony, we have Cassie Lang to deal with. That means next week it's going to be Heimdall, but as long as we're talking about Cassie Lang, it is a hard fight. Fairly tricky. There's lots to keep an eye out for. So let's break down the fight. I'll show you a couple of solos, and then we're going to go over the best options for each objective, in my opinion. We're going to start with the mandatory adamant axiom, where you cannot reduce the ability accuracy of the nodes. Then we have unmastered regeneration, where they take away your willpower, which sucks. It's really annoying because you could get some good healing going on there. But yeah, I hate when they do that. I really do hate when Kabam just takes away your masteries. It's just such a shitty trend that they have. You know, even if you have to put on the heal block or something, it feels less crappy. But whatever. Then we have immunity to cold snap. Fair, I suppose. I bet they made this one just so Kate doesn't nuke for funsies. I don't know exactly why they gave her that, but I don't know. Whatever. I suppose it's to stop the wade, but there weren't that many kind of like cold snap reliant champions. And then we have bust a groove. At the start of the fight, and every 15 seconds, the defender alternates in between having 100% chance to evade all basic attacks or having 100% chance to miss all special attacks. So, the miss special attacks part is kind of easier as long as you make sure you do not launch a special attack without vigilance, but the evade can really, really mess you up. Then, on top of it all, we have giving chase passive number 2. This is effectively meant to switch off the previous node. So when the attacker performs well-timed block, they gain either a pursuit or vigilance passive for 15 seconds, alternating with each well-timed block. Gaining one will replace the other. So at the start of the fight, you parry, you get a 15-second pursuit. That pursuit is going to last the entire time. Cassie has 100% chance to avoid your basic attacks. Then once that phase ends, land the parry, gain a vigilance, and you can use special attacks. So, very simple in theory. These nodes kind of seem to cancel each other out, but it's kind of much more complex than that, because on top of everything else, you need to keep an eye out for power stings, you know, Cassie's own power bar. If she has thrown level 1, you have to be like uber aggressive, and it just adds the complexity of the fight. Beast of Burden, for each debuff on the defender, they reduce the duration of incoming debuffs by 30%, so debuff heavy champions will be heavily gimped here. Painful Retreat is the one thing that again messes you a lot, so every 10 seconds the attacker is inflicted with a power sting debuff for 10 seconds that deals 100% of the defender's attack. Remove one of those power stings for every 10 hits on attacker's combo meter. So every time you cross a combo of 10, you do get to remove the power sting. Super important notice here. These power stings do not stack, and if you feel like you can't get rid of power sting fast enough, just slow play it for one cycle. You know, line yourself up to 8 or 9 combo just as the new cycle would start, because then the power sting will refresh, and instead of applying the second one, and then you can get rid of it quite quickly and easily. Now, Crush Revolution debuff. My head's in front of it, but this messes with you a lot. So if you dash back, it starts a 1.2 second timer. If you dash back again within that time, you get a crush debuff placed on you for 4 seconds, which means, well, you can't block. That means, you know, you're not going to be able to benefit from the giving chase node giving you pursuits or vigilances. And other than that, there is just this necrotic boom psychonic control. Whenever the debuff is purified, the attacker gets his controls reversed, but this hardly ever comes into play, really. The fight itself is quite chaotic. Two biggest pieces of advice that I can give to you guys is just play it slow. Always be aware of the crush. Take as much block damage as you have to, you know. Only trigger the crush on yourself when Cassie is throwing level 2. And then you can wait it out during the level 2 and then, you know, another dash back and you'll be fine. So, aside from that, yeah, kind of forget about champion rotations for most part to make it more manageable. If you're uber skilled, you can try and do the ideal rotations for champion's abilities, but it just adds yet more to the fight where you already have a lot going on, so to speak. And yeah, try to simplify this fight as much as possible and kind of slow it down. Don't, you know, race the timers, rather than, you know, take a breather, think where you're at in the fight, and play accordingly. That is what helped me the most. So first things first, let's take a look at the solo that I did live on stream with Jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern as well. Initially, I tried to speed up and rush and do damage and try and, you know, parry heavy before special attacks in order to do more damage and, you know, do level 1, level 2. Forget about all of that. I just effectively ended up using level 2 or level 3, whichever one's available. And then, again, as I said, triggering Crush just when the level 2 is being used by Cassie. And then, you know, you can deal with Crush quite easily. Again, here, you can absorb that as a block damage as well. Now I'm at 14 in combo meter. I did not kind of do a great job getting rid of power stings early. And here, I do make a mistake and I'm going to sting myself here. But that's fine. That's a mistake, but we'll live with it. And now, again, just try to play it as simple as possible. So you need that pursuit on whenever the weight is active. You need that vigilance on if you're going to use a special attack whilst that untouchable icon, the miss icon, is active. And for most part, this is all that you do. Level 2s or level 3s, whichever one is available when you don't have a power sting. And again here, just gonna get that pursuit passive in order for her to stop her from evading. Now here I just managed to squeeze in my special just in time. Activate level 2. Now she is poison immune, so Jack-o'-lantern's damage is gimped, but not much I can do about that. And again, the rest of the fight, this is basically it. Just try to do this fight as simple as possible. Do not let her throw level 1s. If she does activate level 1, this fight becomes significantly more chaotic and you might end up taking quite a lot of damage because you have 14 hits to land. And yeah, I'm ignoring inflamed passives. I'm ignoring, you know, the heavy into special thing. All of those things would make the fight faster, would increase my damage output and so on and so forth. But they also make me make more mistakes. So instead of that, I just try to, you know, get rid of power stings in time, make sure that I have the right passives on at the right time and push her at level 2s. That is it. Because if you do have this 4th, 5th, 6th or 7th thing to juggle, the fight becomes incredibly difficult. Once you kind of simplify it to its bare basics, you know, push Cassie to level 2, make sure that you do not have Crush passive active on you when you have to parry, make sure that you have the either Vigilance or Pursuit passive. That's it. Just do those, you know, 3 things. Push her at level 2s, activate Crush passive only when she activates level 2, then you can go in for a full combo, make sure you have the right passive on. That's it. Play as simple as possible. Do not try to do intricate champion rotation, stuff like that. If your champion is, you know, highly ranked enough, it'll be fine. Now, there are champions that do this fight better, as in terms of which abilities you can counter. But in most of the time, like, what I realize, they don't counter it well enough to give you, like, complete freedom in this fight. None of the champions that we were given as options were, like, perfectly countering both, let's say, miss and evade and power sting and stuff like that. Because all of that you still need to pay attention to. So here we go. Super easy fight with Jack. And then I do have one with Moondragon. This is not great. This is not pretty. This is the same objective that Jack did, but Jack does 2 actually. So in order to get all the objectives, I did it with Jack-o'-lantern and Patriot. Did very well with Negasonic Teenage Warhead as well. Decently with Prowler. Afterwards, I tested out White Tiger. You can do it with White Tiger. That's the second objective. We're going to discuss that in a bit. But I wanted to try out Moondragon here. And Moondragon does well also. You know, Moondragon is definitely good, but here you can see, even though, for instance, Moondragon makes you much more comfortable in the fight, like, because as long as you have your damage mode active, that green icon, you can completely ignore evade, so you don't feel like you have to parry all the time. But then you throw your special attack and you completely miss it, because obviously, you know, the second phase starts. And what I felt like is, the more free I felt in this fight, overall, the worse I did. And here I am going to go for level 3 as well, because I just needed to wait out the phase. So this, I think, is actually going to miss, but whatever. And yeah, the same thing I would apply doing this fight with Moondragon. Just ignore her rotations, ignore her perfect like damage output, and just focus on those things and pretend as if you're not countering any abilities. Because when I was using Jack-o'-lantern, I actually didn't have anything to counter Cassie. Like, I was relying on that Pursuit passive to counter evade. He doesn't have innate evade counter. I was relying on the Vigilance to counter the miss. I was relying on pushing her to level 2s and always adhere to it strictly, because I didn't have like easy way to get rid of all the debuffs from the level 1 that she places on me. And I felt that was when the fight was at easiest. Using a champion that had like 0 abilities to counter Cassie, to counter the nodes, but play within the nodes, rather than, you know, semi-rely on, you know, the wave prevention here on Moondragon, for instance, or the fact that she can ramp up super fast when I have Power Sting on. Because I still want that Power Sting off in time, for instance, rather than take the damage, even if it's reduced, because I don't have willpower, I can't heal back up. And this I am including because this is a rank 1 Moondragon, by the way. And I am including this here just to show that, you know, it's not necessarily much easier. Yes, it's a rank 1 versus rank 3, so obviously Jack is much tankier. But, you know, you still end up making mistakes and stuff like that. So simplify this fight as much as possible. Here I am at 8%, and she's at 60. So I'm going to get in a decent groove, it's safe to say, from this point onwards. And so it's clear that Moondragon is very good for this fight, right? But let's leave it at here. I'm at 6%, Cassie is at 58%, and I'm still going to end up defeating her. So that means, like, when you kind of, you know, go for it, you can do it, obviously, but it has been less than ideal up until this point. And yeah, on the stream, to get the second objective, I did the solo with Patriot, which was 6-star rank 4 Patriot, by the way. So this was definitely doable with lower rank champions. So, oh wait, I don't even have a striker. I thought something was amiss in this fight. That's fine. You can see that she's actually at level 1, but I did manage to get off all of the debuffs off from me in time, and avoid all that. I'm at 5% here. It's like, geez Louise. Jeez Louise. I throw that. I'm at 1%, but that's okay, yo. Hey, I mean, if it works, right? But yeah, that was Moondragon solo. And now let's just go to the best options. Cassie. So there are 3 objectives: size M, psychic shielding; hero, size M; and tech, villain. Jack-o'-lantern can do 2 of those objectives immediately, so that's exactly what I did, because I just so happened to have rank 3 that guy earlier today, and it worked out fine. And again, in this fight, I would say that who you use is kind of like less important, because, for instance, size M psychic shielding, yeah, Moondragon is like the best on paper, I suppose. Magneto can do this well. Also, if you have 1 ranked, I didn't, so you have Mags, but those are literally all the psychic shielding champions. So if I would have to suggest the best ones, probably the Moondragon, Magneto, but Jack, but Professor X, but Magneto, House of X will do all of that just fine too. Now, hero size M, I believe by far and away that the Patriot is the best. Because obviously it's kind of like a fight that's built for him. You have debuffs on you that expire, so he ramps up faster. You're going up against Science Champion, so that means class advantage. You do have, you know, increased amount of combos that you gain, so you can get rid of those power things quicker. If Cassie activates level 1, you can remove those things quicker too. So yeah, Patriot was kind of custom. Like, I still absolutely hate it. It took forever to do that fight with Patriot. And I had so many attempts where I was just swearing, where I was charging a heavy attack, and Cassie just didn't attack me and killed me as soon as my heavy attack, you know, got released. And I hate Patriot so much, man. He's so bad. But, you know, his abilities fit this fight quite well. Prowler can do this fight just fine. There's no issue with that. Spider-Punk's quite good because you can go quite ham on the intercept. Negasonic is solid for this fight as well. I've heard people do it with Dazzler. Tested out White Tiger, works that. And I'm sure that just about any hero size M champion, you know, or most of them can do it. And tech villains, again, Jack, if you have one, do that for the double objectives. I have heard that Shocker does it great. Punisher 2099 does it great as well. And I actually think that Sentinel should be quite good for this one. Because, well, yeah, he should be like very tanky. So you could be able to like block for days and stuff. I think those are the most solid options. I heard people do it with Red Skull, but that's taking forever because Cassie is shocking me. This is a hard one. So best of luck to everybody. Hope this video was useful. And I'm going to catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have already